Hi there. My name is Jerry Huntman. I'm the managing director of SQ Mag. This is a company that runs two businesses, IFWG Publishing and IPI Comics. And no doubt anyone who's watching this video will be interested in the comic side of it. We've got an exciting time at the moment because we're running a Kickstarter at the moment called The Death Poem of Sensei Otoro. I wanted to get Jonathan Maberry, the scriptwriter and creator of that story, to be in this interview, but unfortunately he's very sick. But we have had another interview with him recently, and no doubt we'll have some more, and you'll see a lot more about him. However, we're very, very lucky indeed, and this is in fact a first for us because we're actually going to be meeting with the artist and inker, Kay. Kay Boris, and also Mariam Yasser, who's the colorist. And we just thought we'd introduce them to everyone and get a bit of an insight as to their motives, who they are, and just have a little chat just about the death poem of Sensei Otoro. So I'll just bring them in now.
Hello.
G'day.
Hello, everyone. Hey.
Hi.
Okay, now the first thing is that this is an incredible. This is an incredibly international project. I mean, you can't get more international than this project because the editorial team and the management team and also the letterer are based in Australia. I'm here in Australia. We've got Kay, who is in Michigan, I believe. And so while I'm sweltering in the heat, Kay is feeling the cold. But Mariam is in Egypt. And if you look at if you get a globe, I'm pretty certain that you can't get more extremes. It's just not possible. But look, anyway, it's fantastic to meet you guys. This is the first time that I'm having a chat with you. And it's a funny game now. I mean, once upon a time, comics were done by groups in their own little room and they all sit together and talk to each other. It just doesn't happen anymore. And to be honest with you, I think it's way better this way in many ways because you are able to draw in the right people for the right project and you've got a bigger base to work from. That's the attitude that we have. But look, I don't want to talk too much, but the first things are first. We want people to know who you are. So, Mariam, first you, can you just give us a fairly short idea of who you are, your background, so people know who you are?
Okay. I'm from Egypt, like you said. In Egypt, there isn't much comic work, but I was really inspired by the things I saw online. So I started my comic job in like 6 years, and I really love the coloring. I was really excited to do the coloring for comic books. This is my favorite part. Um, and I usually work online because, like I said, there isn't much comics here, but recently there has been a lot of markets for comics as well in Egypt. And this is this is about it.
That's okay. So
Yeah,
that means you're
uh-huh.
yeah. So you're actually in. I mean, so the comics are starting to grow in Egypt.
Yeah.
That
Mm.
I reckon that means you're in a good place,
Yeah. Yeah,
which is good.
we
Yeah.
are starting out.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay. Kay, yourself.
Like you said, I'm currently in Michigan, but I'm originally from Serbia, which is a country that was part of former Yugoslavia. And that this might come as a surprise, but comics have always been huge in Yugoslavia. They started like 100 years ago, and when I was growing up, we had like books from France, Italy, U.S., UK, Argentina. And I'm saying that because I've read them all. I love them all, and it all informed my style. And also, I think that this style is perfect for this book. So,
Yeah.
most recently, I've done some Phantom comics for Australia,
Yeah.
Australian publisher, and this is the looking forward to working on Jonathan's story.
No, that's amazing. I'm very aware that the comics from continental Europe are very different from the US and the UK style of comics. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. I grew
Hmm,
up with stuff like this. So this would be like an Italian
hmm,
fumetti neri, like a
hmm,
black comics, very dark, very grim, gritty. This would be another favorite, which is like Mort Cinder,
hmm,
um, by Alberto Breccia from Argentina.
hmm.
Um, so I love them all, but the one thing I love from American comics is dynamic storytelling.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I'm, you'll see some of that in the Death Poem. It's there's a lot of Frank Miller in my visual vocabulary,
Hmm,
you
hmm,
know. So I like to think that this mixture of different schools
hmm.
um, is something I bring to this project.
No, no, absolutely. It's probably worth mentioning to the viewers, and I'm sure both of you know a little bit about the background, but as to the background of how we got you together, and the reasons why we got you together as well. With Jonathan, uh, he isn't just the writer of the death poem of Sensei Otoro. He is an authority on uh, Japanese martial arts, and also an authority, uh, indirectly, an authority in cultural aspects of the martial arts. So, for example, the samurai of the Edo period, and so on and so forth. I mean, he has been he's an eighth dan jiu-jitsu teacher, taught martial arts. He was doing martial arts for 62 years, and he only recently retired from teaching. And so when he came to us, we met him about 3 years ago in San Diego Comic Con. We He was very keen on us doing it, which was very flattering, and we very much appreciate that. He knew that we were emphasizing quality over anything else. Um, and but he also said the challenge is to find the artist and colorist who can capture his vision, not only his vision, but has to withstand scrutiny of other people who read the comic who may know a little bit about samurais. The worst thing that could possibly happen is if we depicted things that were inaccurate and the word spread that it was inaccurate. Um, and so Jonathan is not just the script writer; he's also, to some extent, the consultant. And so, therefore, I mean, not normally we wouldn't go as deep in running artwork and color past the script writer. Normally, it'd be a tail end process of approval and what have you. But with him, we want him involved all the way through. And the reason why is because even something as simple as the grip on a katana, and the angles and the body positions were very important. Um, we've already done 4 or 5 pages, which are on our Kickstarter site, and the link is down below for people to visit. And you'll see that it's very dynamic, for those of you who really know Edo period clothes and mannerisms and culture, and also those who know samurai will see genuineness. Jonathan really knows the comic industry, and he has stated categorically that what we have produced so far, and no doubt will be the same right through the 80 odd pages that we're going to have, is that it's going to be about as genuine as you can get in a comic. Others have done it, but this is going to be pretty amazing. So anyway, that's the background to Jonathan and what his motivations were. I'm sorry I'm talking, but I just wanted to get this out.
No, I can only agree. I'm just nodding in agreement
Yeah.
because Jonathan has been, unlike other writers, he's been very generous with the references.
Yeah.
So he insists that every detail be authentic. I understand he even has a collection of real, like, Japanese katanas, and he's a swordsman himself, right? I mean,
Yes.
I just
Yes.
got this one. You know, I mean, references are essential. So I just got it for the grip. Obviously, the real one, I would never challenge Jonathan with my plastic katana. But yeah, we're working hard on getting everything right.
Oh, look, absolutely. What's really interesting is that the process of trying to locate the artist to start with was we just had to think hard about how to do it. But what we were very lucky with was that one of our editors, who's not on this project, but he's one of our editors and writers, uh, Jason Franks, knows Kay, and Jason, by the way, he speaks Japanese and has a Japanese wife, so he goes to Japan a lot. So there's a little bit of a connection there as well. And he actually stated that Kay was a strong contender, and it didn't take long. It was a very good marriage, I think, because you showed some material and it really worked for us. So that was how it more or less we got Kay from our perspective. Mariam, um, we originally loved the idea of watercolor style. Um, and the reason why is because even though it's not technically, I mean, what is the right color for Edo, Japan? I mean, it's not about that. It's about what will allow the reader to feel like they're in Edo, Japan. And we felt that a watercolor, the washi color, is the right way to do it. Originally, we thought we were looking at like the color prints of the 19th century, like the famous The Wave, but those colors were too washed, didn't quite work. So then we asked around, and interestingly enough, Stephen Koch, he recommended you, Mariam, because he felt that you already have done watercolor type styles. And we saw your material, and we went to you, and again, it works. It 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 works. So to be dead honest with you, and I don't want to inflate your egos too much, but between Jonathan, Kay, Mariam, and also Stephen Kay, who's really a great letterer, we can't be more happy. To me, it's a dream team, um, and it's been proven because we've got. If you, like I said, just visit our Kickstarter page. You'll see four pages, 5 pages, plus a couple of banners. The colors work really, really well. So anyway, that I've spent a bit of time talking, but I just wanted you to understand the background and how we got you. and maybe some of it you don't know, maybe you do, but also I think it may be very informative to those people who are listening in. Now, I'm going to return to Mariam now, and I know it's not quite the right order, but with you, Mariam, was there anything that what I mean? You said yes to us, and now you are our colorist. Why did you say yes? What is it about this work that makes you say yes?
To be honest, the first thing was the art. Like I thought at the beginning that the artist was actually Japanese. Like for real, like I really love the art, and I felt it was very authentic. And I loved working on, yeah, like you mentioned that you needed Japanese watercolor style. So I really love that because my love for comics started actually with like Japanese anime and manga and all of that. So it was really interesting for me. And when I started reading through the story or getting in the pages, I really love the dynamics, the action, the idea of like the samurai specifically. When I saw you're really concerned about how accurate things are, but how like the grip of the sword is. I felt it very authentic, and I love that. Like, I feel like it's gonna end up like a great work. I love that.
So, yeah, well, look, I can't disagree. The what I particularly like about I mean, like your like for example, your choice of greens in it. And by the way, I should mention that because this is a recorded, not a live presentation, as we talk, sometimes I'll show some images on the screen when we got the
Yeah.
final product. So when I mention, for example, green, I will show. Now, by the way, I put a little right in the top right corner of this, the first banner we did. It's not very noticeable, but you probably can see some dominant colors there. And I have to say, the green, I particularly like the green. And I think the reason why I like the green is because it's not exactly like the green you would see in a tree if you were in Tokyo or Osaka, but it's the green that pops out that is almost how do I put it? It's like it was someone did it on a screen print, right? Or I mean, it's the art, um, and I love that. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I mean that's the sort of watercolor and wash and the background skies and everything. They're the things that I do really like about it. Kay, I mean, what was your impression of the colors when you first saw them?
Mariam, do you even know that that's supposed to be cherry blossom? That beautiful green, it's supposed to be pink. Have they told you that?
No.
So yeah, so I didn't really sell it in the ink, so we were supposed to tell you. But then when your colors came back, I was no, leave it as is. Let her cook. So it's gorgeous. Right.
Yeah, I forgot to say cherry blossom, and it's my mistake, but I think it ended up perfect.
This is even better. This is even better. It's a perfect green because it symbolizes life, and then in the background you have like death, right, and
Yes.
slowly and disease slowly creeping up to him, and he's on his knees. So it works. The whole color scheme works perfectly, and that's what I can say for your colors in general. Like, thank you for making me look good. And
Actually,
seriously,
I was guided.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was kind of guided with your art, like your brush strokes and everything. I tried to like make it all work together.
yeah.
and can I say, and this is a compliment, nothing more than a compliment, but an observation at the same time, is that because your artwork, Kay, is there's a lot of detail in it, a lot of line work and detail in it.
Yeah.
Not every
Yeah.
colorist can handle that. Not every colorist can handle that. Some colorists get a little bit flustered because there's a lot of complexity there. And so again, Mariam, it just seems like you were meant to do it, right? Because you handle the detail just the right way.
Oh, definitely. When I get back, I cannot wait to get the colors back. So, and when I get them back, it's like out of body experience because it's my art, but then it's not. It's as much as mine as it's yours. Actually, you get to define the final product, right? You're the last person to work on it, so it's like it's perfect. It's like I was wondering how that works because what did you, Mariam, notice? Because I work traditionally. I work ink on paper, and I understand you work digitally.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
It's basically a lot of like edges, like smooth edges and rough edges. This is the main thing that defines watercolors. Like you have this, how do I say it? Like scribbly edge on one side, and
Yeah,
where the water moves. Like it's understanding how traditional watercolors work. So, and then trying to replicate that digitally. And to be honest, I work in Clip Studio Paint, and it has like good brushes that's not biting you when you try to do watercolors. So this is basically it. Like it's I feel like a lot of it is guided by like your textures and like every stroke of the grass. Like you do some of the grass like one by one. I really love everything about it. Like it's very detailed and it's really bringing the art to life.
Thank you. Again, I've probably been channeling some of those European artists, South American artists, maybe even the Filipino invasion, which I feel like really fits this story. It's detailed. It's also grim, gritty, and you might have noticed when coloring, it's very expressive. So there's a lot of splattering, a lot of like I use, like, for example, I use sponges.
Yeah.
I use those are those like for example smoke textures. I use razors. I don't know if you can see this.
yeah.
It's a shaving razor. I use that for like rocks and boulders, but also use them for scratching. Yeah, and you scratch and you get like beautiful lines, which I cannot get digitally. I can never get them digitally. Like they all get samey. I use toothbrushes. So the black one is for all that blood that Jonathan makes me draw. So yeah, I just dip it into the ink, and if you just like do this with your finger, there's a blood splatters all over the white one is for the starry skies. This is how you draw speed. This is how you draw you just with white ink. I just have to remember not to use them for my teeth later. And then when I get it, I get it to you, and you interpret it perfectly. Like it's. Thank you so much.
So what about blood? I mean, look, this is a horror comic, and I don't use the word horror narrowly. I mean, there's much more to this story than just horror, and I mean, the ending of the story in particular is almost metaphysical, I think. But it is a horror because it's got zombies and ghouls and what have you, and it's got samurai, and the Edo period was a very bloodthirsty period as well. Mariam, I mean, I've seen already a lot of blood on this on the. I mean, so how, I mean, I'm assuming, of course, that you're I'm assuming you're enjoying it regardless. But how do you handle it? I mean, is it first of all, are you enjoying doing that? And also, did it require a certain extra techniques you needed to use?
Like, to be honest, I'm creating a comic for my own, and it's actually a zombie comic as well. So you're well in my domain. But I don't know. I don't mind blood as much. Like, when it's like evil, it bothers me, like the intention. But like when it's like fighting monsters or like saving someone or something like that, it doesn't bother me much. As for coloring, um, I think for blood, the best is to color the inks themselves, because Kai here did a great job with the splashes and splatter and all of that. So I try to color it and like maybe add a little bit in the layer of colors beneath. But it's just a mix of like when to make it like a bright red, when to make it a bit darker, depending on like the focus of the panel and where we're
Yeah.
looking at, like this kind of thing.
Actually, you hit on another point, and I think Kay, you talked about it earlier as well, and that is that uh, what makes comics such a wonderful medium is that there's more than one creator normally, and there's a marriage. There's a marriage required,
Mm.
and and there's a feedback process, a feedback loop. So you draw some blood, and Mariam just made the point that she colors the ink as well, and it works. That's the point. It makes sense that you draw the blood, okay, but it also makes sense that Mariam then enhances it, not just in terms of color, but in terms of the substance of what's seen. Um, I assume you agree, but that is that's the magic in my mind. That's the magic in my mind. But also, this is something that'll happen when we get into production mode. Is that, and I've noticed this with other teams that we've had too, is that we get some sort of method that where it's easy for all the creators to talk to each other all the time. So therefore, if suddenly they want to say, "Hey, I've got an idea," and you can talk to the artist, and the letterer, even the letterer can be at times an extremely useful creator, because there's no, I know that you know, but for the audience who may not know, is that there is much more to lettering than just putting a box or a bubble and words in it. It's about where you place it. You don't make sure the bubbles are not between the eyes of people talking, blah blah blah. And sometimes a letterer can come back and say, "Hey, I just thought of something," and then maybe there's a little bit of a change, maybe. But yeah, sorry, I'm just rambling, but
No. It,
Hmm.
it's just I don't think in color. I was like going back to the role of the colorist. I don't think in color. Most of the comics I showed you are black and white.
Yeah.
So when I draw, like for example, I never see it in color. So here's like the original. So in my mind, that's it. I never like I don't imagine it that but for me roses are gray, violets are gray. It's like I'm not colorblind. I just don't think that. I think in lines, which also don't exist.
Ooh, we lost him. We'll just wait till he can come back. We lost you for a second.
Right.
That's okay.
So when I get back the colors, I'm always delighted to see how much my art, my drawings benefit from actually like having colors. As for the letter, it's really a thankless job. he's part of the team, but letters are best if you don't notice them. That's yeah, because you usually notice when it's bad. So if it's all good, then it's flowing smoothly, like you said, the eye flow,
Yeah.
the reader goes smoothly from the letter leads the eye where it should go. So it's really a thankless job, and really
Hmm.
glad we have a good one on our team.
Yeah, yeah. He's very, very good. He's even been won awards in the space. So that's really handy. Okay. So look, Kay, just to I mean, we've had a great conversation so far, but and a lot of it was started by what motivated Mariam to do this job. But let's just return to you, Kay, and say, what was it that attracted you to start with?
It was the first and foremost, it was the story.
Hmm.
I understand it's been released as an audiobook.
Originally, it was actually a short story,
Short story,
um,
right? Like
and
in a fiction, right?
but he actually changed the end. So so anyone
No.
who's familiar with the story are going to be surprised.
Oh wow.
Um, and the reason why he changed it was because the short story was not long enough to slide into 4 issues, like 80 pages. And he wanted to buffer it a little bit, but on the other hand, you don't buffer for the sake of buffering. So he reconceptualized the story so that it was um, uh, every piece was relevant to the story. But yeah, it was a short story, and it was Jonathan. Although I'm stealing his, I'm stealing some of his material, but he's not here. But he did mention to me that uh, he was a novel writer for quite a long time. He's published 56 novels, um, and he when he wrote he got into short story writing later. And he one of the very first stories he wanted to write was the story that he conceived of Otoro. And he let it go for a long time because he wasn't sure how he wanted to do it, but it was one of his first conceptions. Now, this is a guy who's New York Times bestseller, like 56 novels, over 100 short stories published. He's won multiple awards in the industry. This story we're doing was one of his first short pieces. So yeah. But yeah.
Right. So it was the story. I
Yeah.
When we first started discussing the project, I looked it up. I listened to the audiobook, and I'm just going to say, as a comics creator, if you're a fan of comics, this works perfectly as a graphic novel. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is not a Netflix pitch. This is not this works perfectly in this medium. As a horror fan, you're gonna love it. If you like samurai, this should be right up your alley. And I'm just gonna say no spoilers, but as a father, there's a gut punch in the end, which really
Mm.
got me. And that's I think that's the moment I decided, yeah, I have to do this story. Nobody else should do it. Nobody else can do it. It's mine.
Yes, yes. And uh, the I suppose the thing I like about the drawing side of it, because at the end of the day, the composition starts with the illustrator. Is the mix of and you need this in this story too, is you need the dynamics of body movement. You need to depict. I mean, again, I still recommend people to go and visit the Kickstarter so they can see the artwork. But when you've got a samurai fighting using traditional fighting techniques, fighting, in this case, zombies, it is so easy if you're not up to scratch to have that it doesn't feel like they're moving. They're just sort of suspended in the air, or they're suspended on the ground. What I do like, Kay, with your work is that the kinetic side of the story is absolutely there. I love one particular scene, and I'll show it on the screen, of Otoro running from a distance, so you only see him small, and he's running in. He looks like he's running in, and that's really critical. But at the same time, it's those moments. You mentioned gut punch. You're gonna. I'm sure you're gonna absolutely love doing that bit when you get to that, because it's not about just movement and kinetics. It's about when there's those pauses, the look on the face, the staring, the position of the face in comparison to the background. That's the stuff I'm looking forward to.
Right.
And again, with Mariam, you are an integral part of this, because it's easy to switch to a black and white comic. I love black and white comics too, and your brain goes into a different part, and then you enjoy it. But with the color, which is what we wanted, and I believe this is enhances this story. It has to marry with that same kinetics, with the same pauses, the mood choices of colors, etc. So, sorry, I'm just talking about basic comic art.
I don't know what you're going to put on screen, because that's like but the thing you're talking about. So I have to start small. So this is the rough of the first page.
Yeah.
And here's the movement. It goes in comics. You always read left to right, at least in Western comics. So your action needs to go left to right. Your character needs to be a little bit above the ground, but then he's gonna bump into this zombie, which is like standing still on the other side of the panel. And your eye is you're gonna lead the eye slowly to the next panel.
Yeah.
So, and I have to do it small, to keep all this motion and the layout in my mind. Otherwise, it gets lost if I draw big. But then when I blow it up, I can go into detail. I can really sell the textures, but it's still not complete, because Mariam had so much information which I wasn't even aware of. She had stuff I didn't even think about. It's night, of course, it's night. But I realized that only when I get her colors.
So there, look, this is perfect, right, guys? It's perfect. And I didn't know that. I didn't know, and actually, it makes perfect sense when you mention that you do the almost like a thumbnail to give you a reference. That makes perfect sense, and you've actually added to my understanding of how you handle kinetics, how you handle the motion. That's really interesting. And so what about with you, Mariam? Do you do anything special to the colors when there's motion, when there's movement?
Yeah, actually, Kai drew them very well. Like, there was this page that we redid, and I was like, why are we redoing it? Like, how can it get any better? But it did in the end. Still, I like both of them. This particular page had a lot of motion of the sword, both the first version and the second version, and I had to emphasize that with the colors. Whenever I do the colors, I first find the focus points of every panel and find the line of action, like Kai just explained, where the eye should go from this to this. And we have our very strong blood red color that catches the eye immediately, and I had to follow the sword movement. So this is the most important thing, find where the most important part, the focus, and build on top of that. And Kai mentioned that you didn't think that it was at night or whatever, but like when I started coloring it, like I recognized immediately that it was at night. Like I didn't know, I didn't ask anyone if it was night or morning, but from your inks, from the strength of the shadows of for the characters, I could tell like that you mean this to be a night. So this is great too. Like I
Cool.
don't have to worry too much with your art. It's beautiful and it's just helpful always.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Likewise.
so you're talking to you're sending messages to each other in your art.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's really, really great. Um, I'm conscious of time. The uh, I I think we covered a lot. In fact, we covered way more than I thought we would cover because we talked about technique, we've talked about motivation, and also how everything sort of marries together. And I think that anyone who's listening in on this conversation will greatly appreciate not just what we're trying to produce in the form of the death poem of Sensei Otoro, but also appreciate the art process and how multiple artists need to work together. And I think, and some techniques, toothbrushes, razor blades, and it's fascinating because look, I mean, this really works. So Kay, you're working with uh, you could almost say classic art techniques. Um, and certainly razor blades and toothbrushes have been used for decades for different by different artists for different purposes, and yet Mariam, I think that you actually benefit from doing the layering digital technique.
Mm.
It works. It works, and may I say, you cannot tell where one starts and the other finishes. It's there. So that's really good.
It's a match made in heaven thanks to our editor.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So just so people know, Chris Sakira is the editor. I've been doing a lot of the editing work in the early stages, and the reason why is because Chris has just gone through some surgery. He'll be okay soon, but these things happen. So we've got one person with the flu and another person with surgery, but it hasn't stopped us. So just to wind things up a bit, and just say a little bit about the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is about halfway through at the moment. Um, we don't do Kickstarters because we need the money. We do Kickstarters because it allows us to do more projects simultaneously and do all the things we love instead of spending a lot of time waiting for one thing to finish to go to the next. So the Kickstarters are really important for that. I also love Kickstarters because it's a different group of people who are interested in the art than people who generally go into comic stores. And we offer some pretty amazing things that are not available in comic stores. So anyone who does join in on the Kickstarter, they will benefit from things that you just can't get in a comic store. For example, we would only be producing a single cover, 4 issues, single cover for our comics when they go to the comic network. But in the Kickstarter, we give 2 variant covers. So the cover that we've got at the moment for what essentially is the first 2 issues in the comic store, so it's 40 pages, is what's going to be the reward. It not only is it a great piece of art and everything, but you can also buy one where there's going to be foil work on it, and that'll be interesting. And a third variant, or another variant, is that we're going to have a die cut. Again, I'll flash on the cover already now. If you imagine Otoro leaping in the air what'll happen is that that part of Otoro will be cut out, and you'll see the same thing, but it'll be on the page behind. And when you open the page, there'll be a different vista, a different. There's going to be a wow factor, the eyebrow raising factor. Now, these are things that we can play with in Kickstarter, and we love it. It makes it interesting. Not so easy to do when you try to sell them in comic stores. So I would recommend anyone who's watching this. There's a great deal of art here, quality art here, but also art and heart. And we would absolutely love people to support it, and you will get something special back for that support. Kay and Mariam, this was a really good interview. Stay with us, by the way. When I finish this, stay with me. But I just really want to thank you for joining in. Bad weather or cold weather, and it's probably nearly midnight for you, Mariam, and it's nearly 8 o'clock in the morning for me. But I really enjoyed talking with both of you. This is also, interestingly and ironically, the first time we're talking with each other, and we will do that again. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you too.
Okay, so we'll talk again, and we'll see you later. And thank you for the audience for watching this all the way through. It was worth it, I'm sure.
Sure.
So bye.